And what's going on, all the people out there? Welcome in to another edition of Parlay with the G's. Alex Gray here, your host, with co-host Ty Cobb, TC in the building, Panthers Nation, better than the Cowboys, playoff team. It's a pretty good time to be a Panthers fan. Pretty good.
I enjoyed my year. I enjoyed my year. It exceeded expectations to say the least. I mean, yes, it does, kind of suck losing your way into the playoffs, but we put up a great fight against the Rams in the playoffs, which, brought a lot of life to Charlotte, a lot of life to the Panthers, and I think we're kind of building something better than I have seen in the last couple of years. It seems like have a decent front office now. Think Bryce, we're going to stick with him. Tet, offensive rookie of the year potentially. You know, I like where we're at, but we're not talking about teams that are out of the playoffs. We're talking about the
That's right.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl,
Bowl
baby.
weekend, baby.
Let's
Waste
get
management weekend too.
Phoenix Open, baby.
Hopping over to Arizona, come
TC's
visit
going to
you,
be in
and
the Dale this week.
heck yeah, go sit in a box on 16 on Sunday. Watch hopefully a hole in one.
Hey, let's go. What do we get? We got plus 350 on a hole in one if you use the
Anytime.
boost on DraftKings. I'm not sure if last year there was one, but I know it's not easy.
There's one
It's
last year.
not easy. Yeah, one last year. So it's not easy, one of the entire tournament, but that crowd erupts. If it happens, people are throwing
Insane.
drinks on the green. It's big time. Yeah, so me and TC, we're gonna be going to the Phoenix Open this week in Arizona, watch the golf tournament. Why not share a little bit, TC? Any plays we've made for Phoenix Open? Who are you liking this week?
Yeah, so I'm actually in like a golf pick'em league where you pick a player every week. I currently went with Jordan Spieth. He is my pick, but I got a couple of other ones, just like like some top 20 parlays that I got because there's a boost currently on there. So if you do like any golf plays, I have a five pick top 30 parlay
Mm.
that's gonna get you plus 2,300.
Ooh, love that.
It is
Rent's covered this month.
Sahith Theegala, Jordan Spieth, Jake Knapp, Hideki Matsuyama, and Si Woo Kim. All five of those guys, they come in top 30. So top 20 is a big bet a lot of people make. 30 gives you a little bit of leeway, 'cause
Yeah.
especially like when there's 10 guys at -4 and 20th, and then your guy's -3 and he's in 27th. Um, I kind of like that number a lot more, but outright winner, I took Jordan Spieth plus 5,500. Guys look
Wow.
good so far this year. He's finished in the top 10 the last 2 years there. So I feel good about that guy. And I want to root for an American. Jordan Spieth is, the American golden child of the PGA 10 years ago, and it'd be fun to watch him get a long overdue win, especially at that tournament.
Let's go. I'm rooting for Jordan Spieth, former Masters winner. The guy knows how to play. It's just every dog has its day. I find golf is so hard. I call it a crapshoot, but there's just so many players. You have no idea who's going to be the outright winner. Scheffler's at plus 250 odds now. I took him last year and it ended up being some German guy that won the tournament that I never heard of. So it's really tough to pick the
Justin Rose
outright
was
winner.
plus like
Yeah.
5,500 last week, and he won by 6 strokes. Like it's a week to
Sheesh.
week sport, just like
Yeah.
just like football.
Yeah. So I put into Chat GPT this week, my virtual assistant, the fortune teller, which three players can be trusted, and I used trust
Nice,
you
nice,
for a
nice.
top 20 finish in the Waste Management Open. And it says here are three golfers at the 2026 Phoenix Open who are widely considered safe bets based on odds, form, and course history. Number one is Scotty Scheffler, the
Obviously.
heavy favorite. He also has excellent recent form and multiple wins at TPC Scottsdale.
Hmm.
Then after that, we have Siwoo Kim, a name that I'm just getting around to now, but I'm seeing his name
Elite.
everywhere with all
Second
the
place last
research I'm
week.
doing. So it says hot form to start 2026, strong results, including a runner-up finish and consistently high strokes gain metrics, course history at this event, and his recent form make him a strong candidate to finish top 20. And then the third one after that was Cameron Young, has posted solid finishes here in recent years at Scottsdale. Also, analysts, betting models peg him as one of the better non-favorite options, likely to land to the top 20. Then we had two other honorable mentions. One was Xander Schauffele, high odds, elite talent, just missed recent cut, but historically strong here. And then after that, we had your boy Hideki Matsuyama, solid course history and consistent performer. So what I did there is I took four names off that list,
Smart,
and
smart.
those four names are going to be Scotty Scheffler. I took him top 20. Also, that we took Siwoo Kim, top 20 as well. Then we took Xander Schauffele and Hideki Matsuyama. We used DraftKings 20% boost. That's plus 968. Plus 968. So feel really good about that.
Good return.
However, though, you did warn me about Schauffele that he's been off to a rocky
You
start
missed the
here
cut. You know,
this
I missed the
year.
cut 72 in a row. It's there's always something weird about people in new seasons, especially when they switch clubs too. Like throws me off. Like best example, Max Homa switched to Cobra and was dropped to like below 70th in the rankings. So I just don't trust that guy right now, but I could be so wrong. Like I said, week to week sports. So you need a big bounce back after a miscut. So it could be a firing option.
So here's what I got for you as a response to that. So let's say Shoffley doesn't do as well as Matsuyama, Woo Kim, and also Scheffler as well too. I placed a separate three leg, which is plus 386,
You
and
found
that's
him.
going to have Scheffler top 10. I think if the guy's an outright favorite, I like him for top 10. That's where the
He
guy lives.
always plays well.
After that, Siwoo Kim top 20. So I feel good about that.
I
He's
like
the
that.
second favorite right now.
Smart.
And then Matsuyama top 20 as well.
Nice. I like
When
that. I
all
like
is
that
said
one
and
a lot.
done. Yeah, so plus 386, three legs in case Shoffley doesn't come through on the main one, which is the four leg. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that tournament this week. It's in the backyard here. It should be a great time.
Heck yeah.
All right, so now let's transition here.
Why
All
you're
right.
really here.
Why you're really here for Parlay with the G's. You want to see what we're cooking up for Super Bowl week. It's kind of bittersweet, TC, because we do this every week. We're picking all the games. It's a marathon of a season. It's slow, but at the same time, it goes by real quick. You blink and the season's over, and we're on to talking about the draft and all that stuff. But this is going to be our last chance here to make an official NFL play this season. And we got some good data to work with. First and foremost, before we start talking about this game between the Patriots and Seahawks, where my mind goes first is a game I actually went to in 2014 at the Super Bowl, and that was the Seahawks and the Patriots. One of the best Super Bowls we've ever seen. And how can you forget the fact that the Seahawks were up in that game? The Patriots made their comeback, they come climbing back. But then the Seahawks going down the sideline with Jermaine Kearse makes that insane catch to put them in position. Then they get in the red zone. They run it with Marshawn Lynch. They get down to like the 1 yard line, and you got a chance to close the game. They decide to throw a slant route, and it gets picked off by Malcolm Butler, and the rest is history. TC, do you remember where you were at the time watching that game? That had to be one of the best Super Bowls. And also to all the Seahawks fans out there, we know you've been in pain since then, and now's your chance to get some revenge.
Yeah, no, I was still in high school, so I was at one of my buddy's houses. Like, that was I was telling you, like the games kicked off like 8:30, so it was like midnight, and that happened. Crazy. Funny enough, I saw this on DraftKings somewhere that there is a odds of will the Seahawks or will any team throw the ball on the 1 yard line? It's hilarious. Let me see if I can find it. Just a hilarious like random off bet just to, kind of figure out if like people are really gonna take it. That one really geeked me out, and I know that hits hard for a lot of people. I'll see if I can find it, and tell you the odds.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight's 2020. If they complete that slant route and the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, no one's talking about it. It's like, oh, real good pick play call. But with hindsight being 2020, I mean, it got intercepted, and everyone's like, why would you not give the ball to beast mode in that situation there? You're right there on the goal line. The opportunity's right there. And I know you're into conspiracies. I've heard a lot of conspiracies out there that Carroll wasn't meshing well with Marshawn Lynch, and they didn't want Marshawn Lynch to be the hero, so they put the ball in Russell Wilson's hands to make the play. I mean, I don't know, the politics about everything, but yeah, I think, I mean, you gotta give it to beast mode in that situation and live with the results.
So Sam Darnold actually today made a really good point. One of the interviewers asked him like, "Hey, there's 30 seconds on the clock. You have no timeouts. You're on the 1 yard line. Do you throw the ball or run it?" And he was like, "I understand it's a sore subject, but if you think about it, you run it and you get stuffed. Having no timeouts and trying to get up on the ball, then
To spike it,
throw
yeah,
another
or run a
pass,
play, yeah.
like he was like, I'm probably gonna throw the ball, but I'm not gonna make the quick slant route. It'd be, a post
Hmm.
route where you're kind of throwing up in the back of the end zone. Hopefully that, it doesn't get picked, obviously. But it's such a weird thing to happen, and it's like hindsight's always 2020. So,
Right.
it'd be hilarious if it did happen. But I don't know. It's such a hard thing to do, and that's such a pressure of a moment, like very hard.
Yeah, I mean, well, for
Yeah, here it
Seahawks,
is. Will the Seattle Seahawks attempt to pass from or on the 1 yard line? Yes, plus 550. Patriots, um, plus 1100.
okay.
Hilarious.
Okay. Well, hey, Diggs caught a touchdown pass against the Texans with real strong hands where they were in the red zone in that playoff game a few weeks ago. So it's possible. I mean, it's just a matter of, what play call you're trying to do. Also, if you run a reverse and you do that flick pass in front of you where a guy's coming around the side, that technically counts as a touchdown pass.
No, sorry, I read it wrong. This is the bet. Seattle Seahawks to attempt a pass from inside or on the 1 yard line plus 550. Seattle Seahawks to complete a touchdown from or on the 1 yard line 1100. That's hilarious. There isn't Patriots literally don't even have the option. That's awesome.
Hey, sometimes you got to right your wrongs. We'll see if Clint Kubiak, the new head coach for the Raiders, that's now the offensive coordinator for the
Yep.
Seahawks, we'll see if he's got that in his bag of tricks here. All the Seattle fans out there, we're still living in the glory of 2013 with the Legion of Boom. That was an absolute smackdown that you put on the Broncos in that Super Bowl. It's been a while since then, though. We're talking about over 13 years since that happened there, man. Time goes fast. But here we are now, and you get a chance at revenge. So, TC, let's kick it off here. We got Santa Clara Super Bowl 60 in the house here. Seattle Seahawks at 14-3, going to play the New England Patriots with an identical record at 14-3 here. As far as the spread goes, it opened up with the Seahawks at 3.5 points. It's now Seattle at 4.5 points. That's the magic number that we have this week. Analytics are giving the Seahawks a 60% chance to win this matchup here. Very favorable in the eyes of the Seahawks this week. Patriots are going to be at 40%. As far as some injuries go here, any marquee name to shout out would be Charbonnet for the Seahawks. He's going to be out, but Kenneth Walker has been running phenomenal so far in the playoffs here. And as far as the Patriots goes, I'm looking at Drake May is questionable with the shoulder. Hunter Henry is questionable with rest. Yeah, rest. What are we talking about here,
They're all
right? These
playing.
these guys are all playing. Not too many injuries to mention here, other than the fact that the Seahawks have one major running back on their team. As far as their last five, come on now, five in a row, each team here. Patriots, by the way, have won 16 out of their last 17 games, and we know what their record is against the spread this year. It's absolutely phenomenal. We got 66 degrees in Santa Clara. All the conditions are looking good as well here to TC. So, where does your mind go first when thinking about this matchup, especially from an investing perspective?
So, I mean, first off, it goes to like, what kind of game are we going to see? I mean, if you go back and look, like Seattle Seahawks is such a high power offense, but have a pretty good defense. But then again, you go look at like there's good teams that have scored a lot on them. I mean, the Rams scored 27 just, 2 weeks ago. But then you see like, the Patriots and the Patriots, we agree. Everybody's talking about big defensive game. I feel like it's a Super Bowl. Defense is going to come out hot, but eventually these offenses are going to come up with schemes that are going to get the ball down the field, big open passes, a lot of big, hallmark plays that we're going to watch for years is kind of where I'm thinking. And not a lot of like run game is kind of how I'm seeing this. It's going to be a lot more in the air. Um, I love Drake May. He went to my high school. I respect him. I love Vrabel. I think what the Patriots are doing is awesome. Stephon Diggs gets his first Super Bowl appearance as
Hmm.
well. Super cool to see. Hunter Henry's a dog in the red zone. But Seattle, I mean, JSN, Kenneth Walker, you have Sam Darnold too. I mean,
Mm.
God, that guy's good too. So I think this game is going to be a very good close mark game with each team scoring probably over 20. Um, Over under, I think, is a 45 and a half. I think it's a great number. Um, Immediately my mind goes to Seattle Seahawks money line.
Mm.
I I mean just I've seen so much good football out of them, and they've played so many good teams and proven that they can win in high pressure situations. Um, and I think Sam Darnold has a chip on his shoulder from everything he's been through in the NFL, and like how sick would it be for him to win a Super Bowl? But also same thing, Drake May comes in, and it's like Patriots dynasty starting again. Um, so I'll just keep it simple. I'm gonna start with Seattle money line, Patriots plus 4.5.
Ooh.
I'm going to hear what you say before we dive into maybe some SGPs, TD scores, things of that sorts. But I mean, it's a Super Bowl. It's got to be a good game. You don't want to see this defensive game and it not be high scoring. So I'm thinking that it's going to be some fun football. But gosh, I mean, it's so on the fence for me. But I'll stick with my picks: Seahawks and the Patriots plus 4.5. But for a parlay, it's like neither of those sound great. So maybe a little bit of moving the line is kind of what I'm thinking to get a really big advantage. But I'm curious to see what you think.
All right, so let's start off with your +4.5 there. By the way, I was disappointed with the Patriots last, or a few weeks ago because we got the Pro Bowl. But I was disappointed with the Patriots being favored by 5.5 against the Broncos. In that game, I took the Patriots on the side with the 5.5 points. The reason I took that is because the Patriots were one of those teams this year in the regular season, when we're cooking our parlays and thinking about who we can trust. When the Patriots would play a bad team, they would beat the bad team by like 25 points. They would never mess around with them. It wouldn't get closer than it needs to be. And there are those teams out there that it's the expression is play with your food. They would play with their food and then, they'd win the game, but it's not by a significant margin. So you can't really trust them to cover a spread. Now, vice versa to that, anytime the Patriots have been an underdog, they cover the spread as well too. So although the Patriots did not cover the spread with the 5.5 points against Denver, I was expecting them to do that. That game ended in a 3-point game. I trust the Patriots to cover spreads, especially this season. I feel really good about them. And their record against the spread this year is 14-6. So if you bet on the Patriots 20 times to cover the spread, you'd be right 14 out of those 20 times. That's a real good percentage for you to eye if you're investing out there. So TC, with what you say with the 4.5 points, if I had to side either way, I'd probably take the Patriots plus 4.5 just because they've been so consistent when it comes to covering the spread. All right. Now, on the other side to it, as far as where does your mind go first on this game as well? I mean, it's the Super Bowl, right? So, like, I want to have some stake in the game, and I want to,
Have to.
figure, at the end of the day, like, in the long run, especially when it comes to investing, my best advice is money lines and teasers. That's my best advice. Like in the long run, if you take spreads, there's so much stuff that happens in these games all the time. Do I know that this team is going to beat this other team by 5 points? No, I don't know that. And with the Patriots beating the Broncos last week by 3 points, what the fuck do I know if they're 14-6 against the spread? On the other hand, though, if you took the Patriots money line, you're good to go there. Or let's say if you took the Patriots plus 3.5, you're good to go there, right? Same thing with Seattle. Seattle was favored by what, like 2.5 points against the Rams in the conference championship. They end up covering the spread against the Rams. The Rams aren't able to come back. So those are two opposites there, right? Broncos cover and also Seahawks cover there as well too. So I'm not going to put a spread or get cocky in a situation like this.
I
If
agree.
I did take a team to win, I would take that team minus 2.5. I find a lot of Super Bowls, especially the great ones, come down to a field goal. And in our history of being football fans, how many times have we seen Adam Vinatieri kick the game-winning field goal? Not to bring back bad memories for you with the Panthers and also the Rams and, times like that as well too. But a lot of these games I find come down to a field goal. So if you want to take the spread, I would say minus 2.5. TC, I'm going to roll with you here. And it was the same thing for some of these other games in conference championship week or the week before that. All the favorites won. All the favorites won. If you were
Really? Yeah.
favored, yeah, if you were favored in conference championship, you won that as well. I was on the Rams. I visualized them as preseason favorites, but the Seahawks beat them. The Seahawks beat them twice this year. Sam Darnold threw 3 touchdowns and 336 yards. That looks to me like a quarterback whose oblique
Gamer.
is not bothering him right now. And on top of that, you've got a defense that's really good too. Demarcus Lawrence talked about he'd never win a Super Bowl with Dallas, and here he finds himself in year one with the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. So, with all that being said, I'm gonna go Seahawks money line with you as well too. That's where my mind goes. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm not gonna get into conspiracies. I'm gonna go with the team that's scoring 30 plus points here in the playoffs and is looking lights out versus the team that's scoring 16, they're scoring 10, they're winning these games, but it's not convincing enough for me to think that they're the better team. And for me and my money, the Seahawks are the better team. I wouldn't overthink it. I'd pick a money line first and foremost.
I agree.
So here's the thing though. That's minus 245. So you're not getting enough value there if you want to go Seahawks money line. So that's where we then need to go into where can we find some more value after that. All right. So for me personally, here's where I'm going first, especially when it comes to this Super Bowl. I've seen a lot of games in the NFL, and what pains me is when you take an over and it ends up being a fucking shitty game like the Broncos and the Patriots, and the final score is 10-7. And these things can happen. You don't know what's going to happen, especially if the game gets tight. But a score that I feel good about either way is going to be a score of 20-17. So I want you guys, encourage you out there to go look at the final score between the Patriots and the Rams in the 2001 Super Bowl, and that final score was 20-17. Patriots got the win. I think with both, I think the Patriots defense isn't getting talked about enough. Their defense is really good, and the Seahawks defense is really good too. But if we're talking about good defenses here, worst case scenario, if we need to get some sort of an over, and I'm not going to play an under. We don't play unders. We're not going to play like under 50
Never.
or anything like that.
Never.
So with a score of 20-17 and Seahawks money line and over 36 and a half, that gets you to minus 130. So we're going to take you from minus 245 and we can get you to minus 130 for a really low bar two pick parlay. TC, that's what I feel best about this week.
I'm kind of right there with you. It's the same thing. Nobody's going to bet on under. We don't like the under in the Super Bowl. We want points. We want it to be a fun game. I'm right there with you, but I am trying to make a three-leg parlay to get over plus 200 odds. There's a
Mhm.
boost available on DraftKings right now. Um, so I would guess I consider this my circle of trust parlay, but for me, it's a Super Bowl. Like this is one of my last hurrahs of gambling for a little bit, unless you touch golf, hockey, basketball. But this is my bread and butter. It's why we do a podcast for it. So I like to have fun. I like to take the shoot for the stars picks, but I'm going to give you guys my safest pick as of right now. Three-leg parlay plus 204. Seahawks money line. I did over 38 and a half because
Mm.
I was doing 37 and a half, but I needed to get a little bit extra odds to get plus 200. And I took JSN anytime TD. I
Ooh.
think the Seahawks, they're going to throw the ball. I think it's going to be an air out game, and I think that's your number one receiver. You're going to try to get him the ball in the red zone. I think that guy's a pretty good lock to score. At minus 110 right now. So you put all three of those in a parlay, you get plus 204. That's my safe bet as of right now. But um, I got plenty more for you if you really want to shoot for the stars.
All right, so let's get it. So you got Seahawks money line, JSN anytime TD. What was the third leg there?
Over 38 and a half.
Okay, love that. Love 38 and a half. I mean, I would hate to see a 20 to 17 type score for you, but let me up the ante for you
I
here.
said
Let's
I
go.
like both teams getting 20. So
Exactly. So let's build on that here. Let's build on that. The second score that I like for this game this week is 23 to 20. That was the score of the Thursday night game that I went and saw this year with Seattle when they visited the Cardinals. The Seahawks won that game by a field goal. I know the Seahawks are capable of scoring 23 points. They've scored like 30 points in every playoff game here. And the Patriots offense, they can do some stuff. You know, it may not have looked that way against Denver in the snow last week, but the week before they were scoring points against the Texans. I mean, I saw Douglas in the end zone. I saw Diggs in the end zone. Ramondre Stevenson gets active. Kayshon Boutte had that one hand catch in the end zone as well. And you can never deny the fact that they could have a pick six or they could have some sort of special teams touchdown, some sort of strip sack fumble that gets returned for a touchdown as well. So with the score of 23 to 20, Seahawks money line, what that's going to get you at, if you do Seahawks money line over 42 and a half, now you take that minus 130 for over 36 and a half in Seahawks money line. And now we're going to turn that into plus 118. So that's my second recommendation for the week. If you like what TC's saying with both teams to get 20 points, I visualize a 23 to 20 type score. So if you go Seahawks money line and you go over 42 and a half, now you're at plus 118. Now we can up the ante a little bit
the
there.
game can't end 2020. So somebody has to get more points, and that covers you. So I like it.
So even better than that, let's say we just take Seahawks money line. Now we can get better odds for you here if we do team total points. But you got to be confident that the Patriots are going to be able to score 17 points. So this is going to be the third play for you guys out there. Number three play would be the Seahawks over 19 and a half points. Patriots over 16 and a half points and Seahawks money line. That gets you to plus 148. So you can get 150 bucks off of $100 if you like Hawks money line and you trust team points. Any book out there is going to give you better odds if you're getting team points over just getting combined scores like game lines. What do you think about that, TC?
I like that a lot. I think exactly what I said. I think like it's weird. If you go see Seattle, they have a great defense, but when they play great teams, they score. So like I think again, like back to back conspiracy, nobody wants to watch a shitty Super Bowl. Everybody wants points. So like
And
each
that's where
team
the
gets
money's at. The more
17,
points, that's where you start getting the money.
exactly. So like I think I like that a lot, to be honest. Yeah, I love that.
All right, so we got Seahawks money line. You and I are both on the same page about that.
Mhm.
We're both on the same page at a low bar of 36 and a half, upping that even more so 38 and a half and also 42 and a half. The thing that I would advise out there is, or let me ask you this, TC, what's the likelihood of the Seahawks blowing out the Patriots? Do you think the game could get away from the Patriots and it's a rough day? Because then that has to do with picking the game lines versus team points.
I mean, I think that's all divide. Like it's all based on the first quarter. It's like, you get a kickoff return and then like a pick six. Seahawks get that, then like, the Patriots could lose all the gas, but we've seen what they do when they're down a lot. And try to come back and win Super Bowls, especially against Falcons. But I think Vrabel's going to play a good game. I think they're going to cultivate an offensive scheme that we haven't really seen before, move the ball all the way around, a couple trick plays. I think we're going to see a lot. So, I mean, I, I don't think this is going to be a blowout game. It could be, but like I see this game being more of like Seahawks win by 7 or 10 at most. I don't think
Hmm.
they're going to like super blow them out, but I do think there is a chance they can cover 4.5.
Perfect. Yeah. So my thought there, and kind of treading lightly here, is I'll give you the score of the Seahawks Broncos game. This is just a total example of a game that got away from a team from the first snap, right? That snap that went over
Exactly.
Peyton Manning's head, and the Seahawks get it, and then it was like lights out after that. Percy Harvin runs back that kickoff return for a touchdown to open the second half. It just got away from them. That final score was 42-8. All right, so that's 50 points there, which is good for the over. But if you took Broncos to get 17 points that game,
They
with the
could.
best offense in the league that year. Why would they not get 17 points? It can happen where a team shits the bed. And that's why I'm saying, like, if you see Seattle wins this game 31-10 or something like that, I would hate you to lose team points at 17 for the Patriots if something like that happens. And
Exactly.
all I've been hearing about this week is Seattle's defense. So if you really think Seattle's defense is that good, yes, there's value to get on team points with the Patriots at like 14 or 17. But if you do over 37 combined, then you don't have
Less
to worry
factors.
about them getting
Less
shut out.
factors.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, so good. So good we're there. All right, next up, let's go to some SGPs here. Who can we trust for parlay with the G's? I know DraftKings is offering some awesome boost out there. They've got daily happy hours. They always want to get you on the same game parlay to get to plus 300 odds. TC, who can we trust for the Super Bowl that's going to go in our SGP?
So I gave you my trustworthy SGEP, but now I'm gonna give you a fun one. I'm gonna give you one that's plus 1,000 odds. It's a 10 leg parlay. We're shooting for the stars. It's what I said. We're gonna
DA.
start it off. Same thing we just talked about. I have over 37.5. Then I have Patriots plus 10.5. Think if Patriots lose, they don't lose by more than 10. I have both quarterbacks throwing over 200 yards.
Mm,
Averages are both at 230. So I think, like I said, it's going to be a game in the
Super
air. I
Bowl.
like that. Um, then I have both quarterbacks to throw one touchdown.
I
So I
like
think
it.
it's pretty, it's going to happen if they score. Um, then I took a couple receivers, and I like receptions over yards because I think yards can be so hit or miss. A guy could catch 8 catches and have 10 yards, or he could catch one and have 80.
Stephon Diggs had 17 yards in the championship game. If
Yeah,
you took him at
exactly.
over 25, you're not hitting that.
Exactly. So I'm going to go Jackson Smith and Jigba, 6 receptions. Stephon Diggs, 4 receptions.
Mm.
Hunter Henry, 3 receptions. Ramondre Stevenson, 3 receptions.
Ooh.
Cooper Cup, 2 receptions.
Ooh.
To recap that, 10 leg parlay, over 37.5. Pats plus 10.5. Sam Darnold over 200 passing. Drake May over 200 passing. Drake May, 1 passing touchdown. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 6 catches. Stephon Diggs, 4 catches. Hunter Henry, 3 catches. Ramondre Stevenson, 3 catches. Cooper Cup, 2 catches. That is plus 800 boosted to plus 1040. Shoot for the stars. Have some fun this week. Like it's a Super Bowl. You want everybody to get action. You want it to be a fun game. Why not take everybody?
All right, TC, I'm going to give you Ramondre Stevenson's catches in the last 5 games. All right.
Oh, go
Here
for
we
it.
go. 5 games ago, 5 catches. That cashes. 4 games ago, 2 catches. 3 games ago, 3 catches. The most recent game, or no, 2 games ago, 4 catches. And then the most recent game, zero
Zero.
catches. All right.
Yes.
So we got to get that 4. We got to get that 3.
But
We got to get
what
that
did you
2,
talk
5.
about on injuries at the beginning of this?
Ooh. Okay.
RB1 now, scramble outside the pocket, a couple dump passes. That's all I'm looking for. Don't need
Low
passing yards,
screen
don't need
screen check
receiving
downs.
yards.
Yeah.
Just need screen check down 3 quick passes. That's kind of why I lean that way. I saw the exact same stats too. I looked at it as well, but it makes me more confident, especially him being RB1.
Yeah, and especially with running backs as well too. Like the safety blanket for a quarterback. You got your tight ends, you also got your running backs. I mean, how many times do we see quick checkdowns to running backs all the
Exactly.
time? You make something out of nothing, get the 4 yards if you can get the 4 yards, and Ramondre Stevenson can find his way to 2 to 3 catches no problem in a game like this. All right, so TC, I'm going to match you here. Let's go for the first same game parlay that we have this week. And I'm going to get you guys to plus 533 odds. So I'm going to give you 5x on the return here. And you can also use a 30% parlay boost. All right, first and foremost, we talked about it this week. Seahawks money line. That's where we're going first. We're on the same page there. That's where everything's going to flow this week. If the Patriots win, we're screwed. So
Boom.
we're not going to live in that reality. All right. Number 2, over 36.5. Like I said, 20-17. That's like a low bar score that I see. I could see even more, 24,
Mhm.
27. It could happen. So yeah, over 36.5, I feel comfortable about in this game. Next up after that, love running backs. And we talk about this all the time, especially with a guy like Jameer Gibbs, you made a point on earlier in the podcast. rushing plus receiving yards is really important, especially if a guy's
Absolutely.
taking a screen pass and he's going 40 yards to start the game. So we're going to eye Kenneth Walker the third here, and we're going to take him at 70 yards rushing plus receiving.
I like it.
All right, that's where we're feeling right here. Then next up, we're gonna go to your boy JSN, 60 yards. Feel real good about him this week.
Yeah.
I think the guy plays lights out. He's arguably top four receiver in the entire league. He's played that way this season, and he did not perform well in their first playoff match against the 49ers. He actually would have hit under, but he went absolutely bananas last week against the Rams. So 60 yards. That's something we feel good about. All right, I got a good name for you here. And that name is someone who caught a 51-yard pass to start the game against the Rams. And that's Rashid Shaheed. And that's going to be
Love it.
my boy in the Super Bowl as well. I think the guy is lightning fast. You talk about, like special plays that teams are going to drop, hallmark plays. I think Rashid Shaheed, man, he's got a tongue twister of a name. He's going to catch a deep ball in this game. And for me, that cash is 25 yards. So we're going to eye him as well here, too. And then we're going to finish with your boy. We're not going to take receptions. We're going to take receiving yards. The old reliable Cooper Kupp. We're going to take Cooper Kupp with 25 yards in this game as well here
Yeah,
too. So those six legs right there, that's going to get you to plus 533. That's a 30% parlay boost. TC, that's my main SGP that we're going to ride this Super Bowl Sunday.
I like it. I like it a lot. Um, Speaking of boosts that we have, there's one out there. I don't know if you've placed it, but they do this all the time. It's called the King of the End Zone. It's
Ooh.
the player to score with the most yards on that touchdown. Um, I think it's a fun bet. It's Super Bowl. It's one of those that I'm going to take. Best thing about it too is it is an anytime TD bet. So it's also you want to take somebody that like, hey, I think this guy can get into the end zone. Um, so for me, it's kind of funny to me. Talked about having Ramondre Stevenson.
hmm Three
He kind of
catches.
three catches. I'm gonna do the counter, Trayvon Henderson. Anytime
Mm,
and king of the end zone.
mm.
Plus 475. Like maybe he doesn't hit that, but that'd just be a sneaky touchdown
He's a baller.
anytime.
They got to feed him though
And it's
because
like,
they
on that one I
love
want
go
odds.
Go look at Ramondre Stevenson's attempts. His attempts are like Vrabel trusts that guy. They give
He
him the ball
does.
like 20 times a game, and I think they're underutilizing um, Henderson because he's so fast and he's so good. He just needs to get his opportunities.
Exactly. And that's what I'm thinking is like he be a sneaky guy that you wouldn't put on like your super elite linebacker as a one-on-one coverage in the red zone. You kind of expect him to be a blocker. Maybe he comes in, quick TD, or he has a banger 50-yard run and I catch the king of the end zone too. So to that point, I don't know if you placed it, but like if you had to pick a TD scorer that you think is going to get the longest touchdown of the game, who
I'll
would you
go.
have?
I'll go JSN.
Jason? Okay, I like
Yeah,
that. I like that. That's smart.
I like JSN on a deep ball. I also like your vision for him to score a touchdown. For
So
me, well, Kenneth Walker right there, right? If they're on the goal line, they're giving him the ball. Dude, that guy scored three times against
the Rams, yep.
the Rams. Like he's fire right now. That's a guy that I would trust. However, though, I will give you a painful memory. I bet Saquon Barkley last year as an anytime touchdown scorer in the Super Bowl, and he didn't score. It was
Yeah.
actually Jalen Hurts, I think, who got two touchdowns when they were down on the goal line.
And oh my gosh, the guy I grew up with, white kid,
Shipley,
the backup, yeah, Will Shipley.
Shipley.
That's hilarious. He goes out of the game and he gets a TD.
Yeah.
But one fun bet I have as well, talking about JSN, instead of taking him anytime TD, I have him two TDs plus
Ooh,
500.
ooh.
Um,
JSN
you know,
mega game.
like I said, Sam Darnold said it. They're on the 1 yard line. He's probably going to pass it first attempt. I'm looking at that guy if I'm, quarterback of the Seahawks. And then I'll throw in another fun anytime TD. I mentioned it. It's his first Super Bowl. Just has a new kid with Cardi B. Let's take Stephon Diggs plus 290.
Hey,
Stephon Diggs plus 290 anytime TD.
hey.
I think like
Slow
for the love of
progress
the
is better than
game,
no
for
progress.
the love of the game and the love of that guy, like, that might be like Drake May, just like, hey, I want to give him the ball. I'm going to give him an attempt. I'm all over the board on this one. I love a lot of different things. So like I'm throwing out the rock, trying to get some heavy odds, have some fun. We talked about golf too. There's a crazy bet right now. We talked about it. We're on hole 16. That bet is called Hunting Aces, a hole in one on hole 16 anytime in the tournament, and Hunter Henry
Mm.
anytime TD scorer plus 1500. You know, throw $10 on it, have some fun. We're at the tournament and we're gonna watch Super Bowl together. It's like, how much fun would that be?
I love it. Hey, I could see Hunter Henry. He's super
I feel better
solid.
about that than I do the hole in one, but
Yeah,
why
right.
not take both?
Well, he scored a touchdown against the Chargers. He was a little mild against the Texans, but I think, Hunter Henry, that is a trustworthy safety net for Drake May, and Drake May's definitely got to be looking at him. Also, look at Bobo against the Rams for
Dog.
Darnold. He's in the end zone. Tight ends, you just got to utilize them. Sometimes you got to throw it up, draw up the play for them, but it's a matchup nightmare
That
for a
3 second
linebacker.
fake block, then peel off, it works so well. It's so hard to defend that. That guy blocks for 3 seconds. He's not going to route, then just
Yeah,
scrims
slides
out.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he's coming up the seam. All right, let's go Hunter Henry. We got Hunter Henry. We
So
got
yeah, that was a couple
Diggs.
of TDs for me. You got to, I mean, obviously those are some pretty heavy hitters. You got anybody else that you'd be eyeing for like an anytime TD outside of those guys?
So I'll give you here, since you mentioned it, I'm going to give you a plus 350 here. This is a six leg. Okay. Seahawks, like I said, if the Patriots win, I'm in trouble. But Seahawks money line. That's where everything is. The river is flowing Seahawks money line this week. We talked about where does your mind go first? That's where it goes first for me. Then after that, we're going to go Seahawks 20 points. I got them at 20 team points here as well. Then next up, we're going to take Kenneth Walker, 70 rushing and receiving. I think he's a beast right now. I'm not going to go away from him. I'm then going to eye Ramondre Stevenson. I talked about the fact that he's getting nearly 20 attempts. So I'm going to take him at 50 rushing and receiving yards as well.
I
And
like
then
it.
we're going to transition to JSN. JSN 70 receiving yards. Big game
Okay.
for him. JSN anytime touchdown score. So those six legs right there, plus 350, depending on what you want to put on that, 3.5x your return. But I do have JSN as an anytime tutty scorer there. I also did take up on DraftKings 50% parlay boost receiving props. I believe you had to get to plus 200 odds total in order to get that. Or actually, no, it was plus 100 odds you had to get to. So this is plus 210 for you guys out there as well. I got a three leg for you, and this is all receiver based. We're going to go JSN 70 yards. We're going to take Cooper Kupp 25 yards. And then we're going to go Stephon Diggs 25 yards. Those are the
I love it.
ball.
I
Those are the
love it.
receivers I feel best
Three
about.
big names. Okay, perfect. So we've been over TDs, been over SGPs. It's the Super Bowl. And if you go to DraftKings, there's some game specials that are some fun bets. I don't know if you have any, but I got three out there that I think are just like, you know, what are the odds these things
These are
happen?
these are
But
the left
like it's
fields.
but like it's so much fun. Um, I'll go ahead and kick you off. This is, I would argue, it's the safest odds. Over 2.5 players to attempt a pass.
Hey,
You have two off rip.
two and a
You're
half though.
good.
I
You're
like
gonna
two. I don't know if I like two and a
You've
half.
got to immediately. Sam Darnold and Drake May are guaranteed to attempt a pass. So there's two different
Oh,
ways that this
oh, two and a half
happens.
total players.
2.5 total players. So only three players
Oh,
have to throw a
phenomenal. Yeah,
pass.
they're going to
So
do
you
some
do
Philly special
one
in the
trick
Super
play,
Bowl.
or
Yeah,
two, a quarterback gets injured. If a quarterback gets injured, they have to bring in a backup, and he's going to throw a pass. So that's one of
I,
my like
I
fun
like
ones that
this bet.
I
I
like a
like this
lot.
bet.
Plus 190. Nothing crazy, but
Yeah.
like it's a fun one to throw in there. And you get like if it's a trick play, it is a touchdown. I mean, how great of a celebration is that? When you hit that as well.
So we just need three different players to attempt to pass in the Super
To
Bowl
attempt
for
to
plus
pass.
190.
Yes.
Say less,
Yes.
I'm there.
Perfect. All
Say
right, I'll
less,
give you
I'm
another
there.
one you're not gonna
Say
tail.
less, I'm
I've
there.
hit this before.
And I'm calling that the Philly special because that's what's going to happen. They're
Okay.
going to
I
run
like it.
some reverse pass. By the way, I saw the Instagram post this week that Cooper Kupp was practicing passes in practice this week.
That's
A
exactly what
guy
I'm saying.
like him, he's trustworthy. Put the ball in his hands. The guy's going to throw a
Stephon
ball.
Diggs can also
Yeah,
throw it as
Stephon
well.
Diggs can
Like,
throw the rock.
yeah, there's a couple guys out there. That's a fun one to me. Plus 190, might as well just sprinkle it a little bit. Now I got a couple I got one more That's a pretty big one. Don't advise you taking it. I took this in one Super Bowl and it hit, and it was the best moment of my life. Plus 600 for any field goal to doink.
Best moment of my life.
Hilarious bet. Any field goal in the game to doink, hit off the
Doink.
upright. It can go in. It just has to hit the upright. It's hilarious. Plus 600. That's just a funny bet that I like to place. Have a good time. And then if you want to get a little sneaky and try to get like a plus 230 in there, my favorite one leg plus 230 is each team to score one passing TD and one rushing TD. We talked about over 20 for both
Mm.
teams.
Oh, each
That's at
team. Okay.
least that's at least two touchdowns per team. If you can
So
get
so
rushing and passing for each team. Yes, that's four touchdowns, but it's plus 230. You might as well have some fun as well. We want points. So hopefully each team can get a rushing touchdown and a passing. It's all game. So not in a quarter, not in a half. It's just all game. I think you talked about Kenneth Walker. We talked about Ramondre Stevenson.
yep.
Those are two running backs. And we
Diggs
talked
and
about
JSN.
Diggs and Jason. Exactly. So those are like three fun bets that I'm placing that it's just game specials. You got to get in there and try to have a special bet for a special game.
I love that. All right, yeah. I mean, those are the guys I'm thinking about. As soon as I think Seahawks, my mind goes Kenneth Walker, JSN, top two names. When my mind goes Patriots, I think Ramondre Stevenson because they trust him more than Henderson. And then after that, it's kind of a crapshoot with their receivers though, because Drake May really does it by committee. Kind of like Tom Brady back in the day with Troy Brown and oh gosh, Deion Branch. That's another good name for you.
Yeah.
Like he just throws it to anyone and everyone, and anyone can be in the end zone. Doesn't care who it is. Major distribution all around the block. But the Patriots do that. I mean, they got Douglas. They have Kayshon Boutte. They have Diggs. They have Hunter Henry. They don't really care. I mean, and Josh McDaniels is such a good offensive coordinator that they scheme a lot of these guys wide open.
Exactly.
So, I mean, yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, I get the whole defensive sentiment, but I'm seeing 20 to 17 minimum in this game. Both OCs are great, and both teams have they got a few weeks to prep for this game. They got a few weeks to stay healthy. They get to go deep into their playbook. Let's get some points this Super Bowl.
Like the way I see it is like I feel great about the Seahawks getting a rushing and a passing. And then I feel really good about the Patriots getting a rushing. I'm only worried about Patriots passing because I'm like, when they're in the red zone, they typically run the ball and they hammer the rock. But that's a bet I like. And again, we love points, so why not?
Well, another thing too is both quarterbacks are really good at the deep ball, especially Drake May. Drake May has one of the best like accuracy ratings when it comes to just dropping it in on a dime, and we saw that against the Texans with Kayshon Boutte, one hand in the end zone. So, hey, how about a Drake May deep ball this week to go along with Sam Darnold as well too? We talked about Rashid Shaheed taking the top off of defense. He could very well get that quick long ball. JSN could get the long ball as well. He's one of the best trackers of the ball when it's in the air downfield. Real comfortable, never loses his footing. He always just seems to be coming down with it. And they were dominant in the beginning of the season together. It did dip off a little bit, but good to see them get back to form against the Rams. JSN and Darnold, that's a serious connection there.
Heck yeah.
And I'm going to finish here, TC. I got one more hammer for you, and that's going to be plus 102 for everyone out there. These are three legs that I feel real good about. Seahawks money line. That's where the river's flowing this week. We're flying with the Seahawks. Let's get Seahawks 20 points. We feel both real good
Yep.
about both teams getting 20 points. And then lastly, let's go with the best player on the Seahawks, and that's Jackson Smith in Jigba, 70 yards. He's the guy. I think they got to feature him this game. And those are the final three legs that I feel best about this week. I got you JSN at 70, the Seahawks getting 20 points, and the Seahawks money line as well.
Heck yeah. I love it. I love those. Before we jump off, I'll give you listeners out there, if you play squares, funny thing on DraftKings this year, they added the squares. So you can take whatever you want. It's not the randomization where you get the numbers on the board at the game. You can see the numbers here and the odds are great. Um, I've been eyeing two. Um, Basically how squares works, if anybody doesn't know, is it's the last number in the score at the end of each quarter. So like if it's 7-7 at the end of the first quarter and you have 7-7, you win. If it's 17-17, you would also win. 27-27, you'd also win. I like 7-7 and another sneaky one. 7-7's plus 450. Another sneaky one that I like though is 4-4. That's
Mm,
plus 1400. And I think 14-14 and
like 14-14
24-24
or
are
24-14.
or 24-14. I think those are numbers that are pretty common in football at the end of quarters, especially like, you know, it's 14-14 with a minute left in the second quarter, and then it's like, okay, let's run out the clock, take it at halftime. I love squares, so I'm gonna place one every single time. Think it's fun bet for the Super Bowl, but I'm excited for this game. I'm praying it's a good game, man. I'm praying there's a lot of action, a lot of points, a lot of yards, obviously for all of our bets, but also just for the viewers. Crazy. We didn't expect either of these teams,
No,
but now that
no.
they're here, it's like, oh no, they're so deserving. I think either team would have a legendary Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel getting it after being fired and handed out, Drake May being a new guy, also Sam Darnold having the comeback story. So I'm excited to see it. Excited to see you. And best of luck to all you bettors out there, investors.
Investors, the sports investors out there doing their due diligence with the research, making their weekly trades, making their weekly investments. All right. Hey, guys, so great to have you on this season for Parlay with the G's. TC, Ty Cobb, it's been a pleasure doing this podcast with you every week.
Absolutely.
So much fun getting out there, making our picks, and all you guys out there that are engaging with us as well, too, as we
Thank
go
you.
along for the marathon that is the season. Me and TC love doing this. We're going to continue putting content out there with what we feel best about. We dished out everything that's on our slate right now as far as the Super Bowl goes. You're not missing out on everything. And we're flying with the Seahawks this week, baby. It's been since 2013, the last time they won a Super Bowl. Now is time to avenge that 2014 debacle, not giving the ball to beast mode on the 1 yard line. And who would have thought that Sam Darnold is going to be the resurgence that you needed to come back to full form for Seattle to get another Super Bowl victory? It's a new generation over there in Seattle. And me and TC are riding the Seahawks this week, baby. The Patriots, hey, you've had plenty of wins in your history. It's about time you share some of that wealth out there in the NFL. Let's get another team out there. TC, we got the Seahawks
Hogs
this week. Let's get it.
at Lumen Field. I got to take my boys for
Yeah,
my
shout out
job.
to
The
Lumen.
game isn't there, but why not? Why
Yeah,
not us?
and they're used to going down to Santa Clara and waxing some ass. Very, very familiar sight there. Patriots
Easy
got to come
travel.
out to the West
Easy
Coast.
travel.
Easy travel. All right, let's get that Seahawks here this week. TC, it's been a pleasure. Look forward to the Phoenix Open with you. Look forward to the Super Bowl with you, and look forward to cashing these parlays. We got a good week ahead.
Hell yeah, brother. Till
All
next
right,
time.
see you guys in the next one. Peace.